Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
Everybody was running everywhere, and we were trying to figure out on our plane what was going on. And then all of a sudden, you could see like smoke coming from the back of the plane.
Right now, it's having the engine of a plane burst into flames just before takeoff at Orlando International Airport. Why passengers are questioning the safety measures in place.
And a local lawmaker heading to El Salvador pushing for a deported man to be released from prison. The issue highlighting a split between Republicans and Democrats.
The highest court in the land told Donald Trump what to do.
They're so deluded about how the real world works that they would expect Americans to pay for them to go on vacation and meet a terrorist.
So we're going to bring you both sides of that debate coming up.
And this is not what you want to see when you're out on the road. New video that landed a mail carrier in some very hot water. Great to have you with us on this Tuesday morning. I'm Amy Kaufeld, and Ryan is back.
Good to see you again. I feel like it's been a while. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice to get a few days away. We did a little cruise, went to Key West, which is always fun. Yeah.
Nice, beautiful weather.
Oh, it was gorgeous weather. Yeah. Except I got back, I was saying the grass looked even dry when I got back.
Just you took the sprinklers offline while you were away.
No, they weren't on long enough. I'll tell you that.
I would have gone over and turned them on for you.
Yeah, probably should have, because as Brooks can tell you, we didn't get any assist from rain or Mother Nature.
And in some of the communities that used reclaimed water to water the lawns, well, the retention ponds from which that reclaimed water comes from have fallen below the level of which the reclaimed water can be used. So lawns around the region are starting to get a little bit brown in some areas. This is fact. Mount Dora right now looking very nice. Good day for some fishing out there. We've got high clouds once again streaming through. No rain in the forecast today. In fact, no rain in the forecast this week. Closest rain is up here across Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. We'll take a look at that coming up. But first off, let's get you out the door on this Tuesday. It is April the 22nd, and we've got another hot one on the way with 73 by 9, 80 by 11, and up to 84 by 1. Ultimately today we top out around 90 degrees, but at least no worries about rain, I guess, for better or worse. Coming up, we'll take a look at when this pattern finally changes, when we'll finally catch some raindrops, which by then will be pennies from heaven, or I guess with inflation, quarters from heaven. All right, Jessica, take it away. How's looking at the world of traffic?
I don't know how I can follow that one up, but I guess I'll try my best with this shot of Sky Fox. Check it out, a gorgeous view of the sunrise. If you're not looking at your screen right now, you should hop on over before Sky Fox decides to move, because it's a beautiful view of I-4, but also the sunrise taking shape this morning. So really pleasant, nice looking morning out there. But when it comes to the roadways, some of those not the best. We are seeing some delays in a couple of spots. So if you're going to be heading out specifically on I-4 this morning, that is where we're seeing just a couple of our trouble spots. Haven't had, though, too many incidents, so we'll take it. Daytona to Orlando, about 46 minutes. You're in the yellow, though, if you're heading on the 408 from the 417 into downtown, up to almost 10 minutes and almost 30 minutes there. I-4 eastbound heading in from Champions Gate to downtown Orlando, so starting to see some backups there near Champions Gate. But once you pass through Champions Gate, you'll be smooth sailing for the rest of the way into downtown Orlando. All right, Amy, Ryan, I'll send it back over to you.
Jessica, thanks. Well, happening today, the man accused of killing and abusing 13-year-old Maddie Soto is expected to be back in court.
Stephen Stearns is asking a judge to delay his upcoming court hearing. And Amanda McKenzie is live. She's right outside the courthouse in Osceola County with a look at what we can expect in court today. Hi, Amanda.
Good morning. Well, the attorneys for Stephen Stearns say they have new confidential information, and the attorneys say they will not have enough time to process that evidence before the currently scheduled motion to suppress hearing on Wednesday. The hearing is set for today at 11:15 a.m. to discuss whether to delay tomorrow's hearing. We will be in the courtroom to let you know what happens. Reporting live from the Osceola County Courthouse, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
Amanda, thank you. The Vatican announcing the cause of death for Pope Francis, who died on Monday of a stroke and heart failure. He was 88.
Yeah, the Vatican announcing the Pope's body will be moved for a public viewing tomorrow morning. His funeral is set for Saturday. The Vatican has released the first images of the Pope following his death. It shows the pontiff in a wooden casket dressed in a red vestment as well. There will be 9 days of official mourning before a successor is chosen. Here in Central Florida, the Catholic community also paying their respects to local faith leaders, praising the Pope for groundbreaking steps to honor the poor and the vulnerable.
You see a man that really was connected to the people, and there was a beautiful ministry of presence. And pastorally, he was so enriched with that gift that, to me as a Hispanic, Puerto Rico, that's part of the heart of the Hispanic individual, that it's always opening the doors to welcome people, to serve people, to meet people where they're at. So there was a great sense of connection and beauty.
Well, Pope Francis wished to be buried in Rome at the Basilica at St. Mary Major. Then the election of a new pope begins. 120 cardinals, all of whom have to be under the age of 80, will vote in the conclave. It's a secret ballot with the candidate needing 2/3 of the vote. That process will begin within 15 to 20 days.
Well, trouble on the tarmac. Video sent to Fox 35 shows the moment a Delta plane engine caught on fire on the ground at Orlando International Airport. It happened with 282 people on board. The passengers were forced to evacuate, and to make matters more challenging, witnesses say only one of the emergency slides was operational. Some passengers waited for the boarding stairs to be brought over to the plane, and according to witnesses, some passengers decided to jump off. The flight was heading to Atlanta. We spoke with a mom who was on board with her mother and her son.
He asked us, says, "Mom, are we going to die?" I was like, "No, not today." And even some of the staff was panicking. You had kids, you had adults who were having anxiety attacks. It was rough.
The FAA confirms that fire started in one of the engines on the right side of the plane. According to Orlando International, 3 people were taken to the hospital with minor injuries.
Well, commissioners in Orange County are meeting today, and we're monitoring 3 big items that are on the agenda.
Fox 35's Marley Capper joins us live from the Orange County Commission meeting. And Marley, a lot on the table here.
Good morning to both of you. There's a lot of items that we're going to discuss this morning. So let's go ahead and start with Hope City Refuge. They're going to be talking about rezoning land for new transitional housing. So lots of things on the docket that could impact us here locally. The meeting starts at 9 a.m. and we'll bring you updates. For now, reporting live in Orange County, Marley Capper, Fox 35 News.
Marley, thanks. We'll continue to follow that. Meanwhile, a 34-year-old cold case has been cracked. Police arresting an Apopka man for allegedly murdering a woman back in 1991.
And police are crediting DNA technology, saying that it allowed them to find the missing piece of this puzzle. Back in 1991, investigators found the body of 27-year-old Julia Willibanks after police say she was stabbed 17 times. A key piece of evidence was blood on her shorts. Now, in the past, investigators were not able to link it to anyone, but advances in technology helped police to track down family members related to the alleged killer. And that eventually led them to 72-year-old Gene Stuller, who is now charged with murder.
1.9 trillion times more likely that the DNA came from Mr. Stuller than another individual. So that's staggering. The numbers are staggering. So we feel confident he was there. Whether he participated in the homicide, but he was certainly at that location.
We just heard there from St. Cloud Police Chief Doug Gerke, and later this morning, coming up at 8:45, he will join us live here on Good Day Orlando to talk about how that new technology could help solve other cold cases.
Oviedo Mall relaunching a program for teens. Now, last week you told me the mall was considering a chaperone program. That program is called the Mall Rat Teen Club, and it's actually scheduled to start in May. It was put in place in 2023, but had to be put on pause. The mall saying that they had recent disruptive behavior and vandalism. This program will offer things like photography lessons, a book club, and other classes. All right, still to come this morning on Good Day Orlando, we're going to show you something you might only see in Florida.
What deputies say a suspect offered them while he was on the run from the law. And tires left behind in the Indian River Lagoon, now polluting that space. We're going to tell you about new efforts to clean up and restore that area. And by the way, it just so happens to be Earth Day, so a good day for that, right? Let's check in with Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner. Hey, Brooks.
I'm tired of the pollution, Amy. Happy Earth Day to you. We've got a beautiful one on the way today, dry and hot. I'll show you how long this pattern will last when some rain may finally bring some relief to our region.
Good Day Orlando, sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Gorgeous sunrise. And wouldn't you love to be in that boat right now, just kind of riding off into the sunrise? That looks good this morning. That is the sunrise at the Launch Credit Union camera at Port Canaveral in Brevard County. We'll stay in Brevard County for this story, where there's also a burn ban that's going to start today. It comes after a large vegetation fire sparked in Palm Bay. This video from the scene when flames were at full blaze. Firefighters telling us this started as a controlled burn since the property owner was burning a pile of dead vegetation. That fire is now out. So Brooks, we've been saying it for weeks now. So dry out there and really just getting worse.
Yeah, in fact, we've got a burn ban that's being considered today for Brevard County to join Volusia, Seminole Lake, and Polk counties in the burn ban. So the drought continues. We'll have a new drought update coming out on Thursday of this week. We have no rain in the forecast of any significance till maybe the first week of May. Well, good morning to you. We've got a beautiful sunrise out there, some high clouds, a live view from our Grills Lakeside camera over Lake Fairview. It's going to be a beautiful day today, just on the hot side this afternoon, at least with this lack of rain. We don't have many mosquitoes out there to worry about, and there's low humidity, 65 degrees. Trying to find a bright side to this very dry and drought-stricken story of weather. Now, where is the rain? It's actually not too far from us as far as in the context of things. It's only about a 7-hour drive north of us, up in North Georgia. So we'll look at that coming up. But first off, our bus stop forecast. We'll go from 68 degrees right now through 8 to about 89 by 3. So for the bus stop this afternoon, as kids head home, it's going to be hot, it's going to be dry with some scattered clouds around, some high wispy clouds. Our weather spotters this morning, Stephen Montgomery, Denellen checking in with 59 degrees. Jim in the Villages with 66, and Gene Bullock in Deltona 62. We'll check out our weather spotters to the south coming up here in the next half hour. Right now it's 72 at Cocoa Beach, 65 degrees in St. Cloud. We're on the way today to temperatures around or just above 80 at most beach locations, close to 90 in Orlando, and low 90s for the I-75 corridor. Our winds once again coming in off of the Atlantic, which means that areas to the west will be considerably warmer. Now, as I mentioned, once you get up here to North Georgia and also northern Alabama, there's some thunderstorms and some welcome rain for that region. And this is what it looks like, a live view from Maggie Valley in North Carolina with those clouds making for a beautiful view of the Smoky Mountains. And you can see the rain falling. All we can do here from the perspective of Florida is dream what it must be like to have rain falling. We need it. It sounds silly to say because we've had so much rain in years past. I mean, you remember it wasn't that long ago, 7 months ago, was Hurricane Milton. We got anywhere from 10 to 15 inches of rain and almost the exact stripe, which this morning is under the severe drought. Yeah, this was about the swath of the heaviest rains from Milton, and that was not that long ago in the context of the year, but what a difference a couple months makes. Tries us out real fast. So it's going to take the rainy season to bring back those much needed rainfall totals to break the deficit. Daytona Beach right now, the sun rising, beautiful shot from the Hard Rock Hotel cam. Waves of 1 to 3 feet. A moderate risk for rip currents today. Air temperature 82. Let's talk about the upper level pattern. This area of high pressure anchored offshore is going to keep us dry through the end of this month, but there are changes ahead as we look ahead to the first week of May. That high pressure area moves away, weakening, and we'll have a series of upper level systems working in from the west, which will help to bring in some rain chances. We're going to start to see that in the form of afternoon thunderstorms developing during the first week of May. Maybe some showers the first day, maybe a couple of downpours the second day, and then maybe some heavier rains as we progress through the week, depending on how it all comes together. It's not an organized system. It's more of a preview of the rainy season to come, where the daily afternoon showers and storms result from heat and humidity and an unbounded lift in the atmosphere, a lift which today is capped. There's a big garbage lid over it thanks to that high pressure system offshore. So you got to get up into the Carolinas, the Appalachians to find any semblance of rain. That's in our travel forecast where we'll find it. So heads up if you're heading up to Birmingham, Atlanta, maybe up to Greenville, Spartanburg. Meanwhile, down here, we are sparse to find a drip of rain. It's going to be just a dry. Highs around 90 all week long. Sunday looks to be a little warmer, about 92 degrees. And come to think of it, today's Earth Day. Yeah, it sure is. Well, on that note, let's take a look at a beautiful picture of the Earth in our South of Sun this morning. This is a shot from Jennifer Lynn Thomas in Palm Coast, a rainbow over Palm Coast. That is super pretty. Love it. All right, Jessica, hopefully the roads are as nice looking. How is it shaping up here as we approach the peak of the commute?
Well, so far we are really seeing some pretty big delays. This is from our Lake Mary Tower cam. This is where we can see that traffic is really moving at a much slower pace than what we've seen over the last hour or two. So really seeing that congestion build up in that particular spot. Again, this is I-4 in the westbound direction, so heading towards downtown Orlando. And then you can see the eastbound directions. This is where we're going to be seeing those head towards the Sanford and also the Daytona area. So that's where we're seeing the majority of the delays and backups for you this morning. Traffic is still moving along, so not completely stopped. It's just where people are merging on from that Lake Mary Boulevard area. But otherwise, if you're heading from Lake Mary to downtown, not seeing too many major delays once you get past the Lake Mary Boulevard area. Around an 18-minute commute for you there. 16 minutes from the attractions downtown, I-4 eastbound, but you're up to around 33 minutes. Champions Gate into downtown. That's an extra 10 minutes. I'd give yourself at least 40 to 45 minutes just to be safe on this Tuesday morning. Let's get a check now of some gas prices, hopefully saving you some cash. This is another great deal because because I've noticed it well above $3 now. $2.98 at the 7-Eleven in Maitland. You can find this on 481 North Orlando Avenue. You can also head over to our website, fox35orlando.com, and you can find lots of great deals just like this one. All right, Amy, Ryan, I'll send it back over to you.
Jessica, thanks. Yeah, I saw a lot of threes in front as well driving in this morning, so we've gone back up a little bit.
Yeah, that's
just barely, but won't take long to get back under 2 as well. Let's turn to Brevard County. 5 decades of pollution is now being removed from the Indian River Lagoon.
So we're not talking about normal problems like muck or nutrients. We're talking about tires from vehicles. Hundreds have taken over an island just off Cocoa Beach. Already more than 300 tires have been removed from the site, but 200 to 300 more are piled up and waiting to be picked up. The group Waterway Warriors says their goal is to keep trash out of the Indian River Lagoon, but they've never worked on a project quite like this one.
Everyone got out there originally with pitchforks and shovels and grappling hooks and were able to dig them out from the sand. Apparently, back in the early 70s, they were trying to prevent erosion of some of the 1,000 Island Preserve islands. That is also rusting and creating elements and particles that go into the water, creating a toxic environment for the animals.
Waterway Warriors is now working with the county using a grant to recycle more than 500 of those tires. The rest of the tires will be removed from the island next month. Still ahead this morning, the price is right. No more hidden fees when you rent an Airbnb. Their move to be more transparent and why a lot of other companies could soon be following suit. It's all coming up right here on Good Day Orlando.
All right, still ahead on this Tuesday morning, a warning to drivers on the Space Coast.
What one city is considering doing today to make drivers pump the brakes when they are near a school. It's all coming up right after this quick break.
The Fox 35 Storm Team Thunder Truck is sponsored by Renewal by Anderson. Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
Right now it's 7:30, a warm start to the morning. So how hot is it going to get today? The storm team's got that for you coming up in just a couple of minutes. Look at those gorgeous sunrise
It looks
views.
nice, doesn't it?
Isn't that pretty? I actually took a walk last night and we haven't had clouds in a while, so we had all these wispy clouds. It was the most gorgeous sunset. If you saw it last night, you know. It was so colorful and beautiful. We hadn't had one like that.
Sometimes you just got to take those moments and just like enjoy those small things.
Yeah, I took a picture and sent it home to my husband and I said, you should be here. It was good.
Yeah, snap the sun, huh?
Yes, thank you. Great to have you with us. I'm Amy Coffin.
I'm Ryan Elijah. Let's get to a man who appreciates Snap the Sun. And he's seeing all these images of the good-looking sunrise this morning. Hi, Brooks.
I see the sun and I say, oh, snap, that's beautiful. That's it. Working out right now. Launch Credit Union camera looking glorious. We've got a mix of some sun and some clouds. Thanks to a system to our north, it's actually producing some pretty heavy rain across Tennessee, the mountains of North Georgia, the Smokies of North Carolina and Virginia, and also back into Birmingham, Alabama, but that system's going to stay away from us. So we've got one more solid week of dry weather before finally we may see some rainy changes. Desperately needed rain. 65 in Leesburg, 72 Cocoa Beach, 62 in Daytona Beach, and we've got a day today featuring more of this and more of this. The first this being the sun, if you're not watching the TV, and the second this being the hot weather with highs around 90 degrees by 5 o'clock after an ascension through the 70s this morning. Coming up, we're going to take a look at that pattern shift, what's driving it and what you can expect as we turn the page to a new month. All right, let's take a look at our Skyfox traffic. Jessica Dobson is in with the latest.
Hey, good morning. And so far, we are seeing some slowdowns that are building into the downtown Orlando area. We can see that on I-4 specifically. That's going to be in the eastbound direction. Not too shocking to see and hear and report that, but that's going to be also where we are seeing some delays as people are merging from the 408 and onto I-4 eastbound right at the downtown interchange there. So that's going to be a spot where if you take this route normally, you know that we typically see some delays. Now, speaking of where we typically see some delays, it's really starting to stack up in terms of those drive times. I-4 eastbound from US 27 into downtown Orlando up to around a 77-minute drive. That's going to cost you about an hour and 17 minutes. So I would say give yourself about an hour and 25 or hour and a half possibly, just because we are seeing the red stretch there now all the way from US 27 and points past now 429, that interchange there, and also once again through Champions Gate. But once you make it through that spot, you're in pretty good shape aside from some minor slowdowns a little closer to downtown. All right, I'll send it back over to you, Amy and Ryan.
All right, Jessica Brooks, thanks. Let's check the Business Watch this morning. These were the closing numbers on Wall Street. We're actually down about 1,200 at some point, so it was not a good day. A lot of uncertainty over not only the Federal Reserve, but also tariffs. We are seeing futures bounce back a little bit today, so we're in the green. Of course, the market opens at 9:30. Well, today in Titusville, the City Council is going to consider a proposal to install new speed cameras in school zones.
This is the same system already being used in Palm Bay. And Morgan Parrish is joining us live. She's in Titusville right now to tell us more about it. Good morning, Morgan.
Amy, good morning. So right now, Brevard County is 11th in the nation when it comes to car versus pedestrian accidents. So now law enforcement officials are hoping that these speed zone cameras will help make a difference in keeping everyone in the community safe. So clearly still a lot of questions that need answers, but tonight is going to be the first time that council will vote on this during their council meeting. So of course we're going to see how that goes, see what they decide to vote on, and we'll keep you guys updated. For now, reporting live in Brevard County, I'm Morgan Parrish, Fox 35 News.
Morgan, thank you. This morning, the Titusville Police Chief providing an update on an officer-involved shooting that left a man dead. Tremaria Charles was shot and killed by officers responding to reports of a suspicious call. The chief says FDLE completed its investigation, and the results will be sent to the state attorney's office once an internal review is complete. The state attorney will then determine if charges should be brought forward from there. The case will then be turned back over to Titusville Police. Staff will be meeting with the Charles family to inform them of the results of their investigation and to review body camera footage.
Well, Fox 35 update now. A former music teacher pleading guilty to having sexual conversations with children online. Italo Benini worked at Hunters Creek Middle School in Orlando. Court documents show he agreed to plead guilty to federal charges on enticing a minor and production of child pornography. He allegedly bribed two young boys age 8 and 5 to show him their privates in exchange for video game currency on the app Discord. Well, he faces a minimum of 10 years in prison for the enticement and another 15 for the child porn charge. Well, this morning, the city of New Smyrna Beach has a new police chief. Chris Kirk was sworn in by the mayor. Kirk is a 21-year veteran with the department. We're told that he has served in nearly every division. He replaces Chief Eric Feldman, who joined a private security firm earlier this year. Have new details now. Florida is requiring pet insurers to be more transparent. The governor signed a bill that regulates pet insurance companies. It would require them to disclose whether policies exclude coverages for things like chronic conditions and pre-existing conditions. That bill is going to take effect January 1st. Let's take a live look at the Vatican in Rome this morning. We now know the Pope's funeral will happen this Saturday at 10 a.m. local time in St. Peter's Square.
A public viewing in St. Peter's Basilica is set for tomorrow morning. The Vatican says the Pope died of a stroke. He was 88. Last night, the Pope's apartment was sealed off, and there will be 9 days of official mourning before a successor is chosen. 135 voting cardinals from around the world are tasked with choosing the new Pope. This morning, people are sharing their stories of meeting the Pope, as he was known as the People's Pope. And joining us now to tell us about her encounter with the Pope is Lauren Hawley. She has a special connection to us here at Fox 35. She was a former associate producer here. Oh, so good to see you, Lauren. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's so nice to see you and Ryan and also talk to the team behind the scenes.
Yes, it certainly is. Well, I'm so happy to see you, and I'm so just in awe of how wonderful your life is looking. It's fun to follow along and to follow you on social media, Lauren, and we're just so happy for you and so wonderful of you to share your experience with Pope Francis with us. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and hopefully I talk to you soon, Amy.
We sure hope so. God bless you, Lauren, and thank you.
Oh, what a great experience. And good to see Lauren again.
Yes,
too. We miss her.
We enjoyed working with her so much. Well, coming up, student loans in default could be headed to collections.
Ahead, we're going to talk about the COVID-era program that is coming to an end, and new weight loss pill, one is showing promise. Coming up, we're going to check in with Fox Medical to see how this works and when it could hit the market. We've got 20 minutes before 8 o'clock. Not a terrible scene from this vantage point as we look at the traffic through the downtown camera.
News breaks whenever it wants.
It just happens, and when it does, we're here for you.
Streaming live during and between newscasts, taking you to the heart of the story as it happens.
Information you need now. Stories that keep you safe, aware, and connected.
You can depend on us.
Today's Weather Baby is sponsored by attorney Dan Newlin.
Welcome back. A Fox Medical headline this morning. Eli Lilly, the maker of Ozempic, has developed a weight loss pill that could work as well as similar GLP-1 injectable shots. We're talking about things like Ozempic or Wegovy. It also helps to control your blood sugar. Fox Medical team's Dina Senafani joining us live this morning. Dina, good to see you. How are you?
Good morning, Aim. I'm good. Thank you.
You were right. It was a great recommendation, so we took it and we loved it. So, Dina, thank you.
Oh, good. Look at me recommending a Florida restaurant to you, pro.
That made me happy. It made me happy. And I told everybody that Dina said this place was great. So you did good. Thanks, Dina.
Good.
Take care.
Right,
good to see you. All right. Bye. Yeah, right on the shores of Lake Mineola. You would love it, Brooks. Really pretty and great views and good food.
I've heard that place slaps and it's got the Riz. That is awesome. The sun rising, Port Canaveral, high wispy clouds out there. We have a live view from the Launch Credit Union camera. Our weather spotters this morning checking out some mild temperatures. 61 for Deanna Smith in Old Town here in Dixie County. Meanwhile, 68 for Scott in Summerfield. Steve in Bellevue with 62 degrees this morning. Farther south, we've got temperatures hovering around 61 for Dan and Chandra in Oviedo. Lynn Long in Gotha, good morning to you, 64 degrees. And Denise McClincy in Port Orange has 62 degrees. So we're looking at a high today that's going to be pushing 90 in Orlando, about 92 along the I-75 corridor. With a cooler sea breeze, it's still going to be comfortable, but a little bit cooler. About 79 Daytona, 84 in Titusville. Our winds coming in out of the east. Maybe a little gusty this afternoon. Downtown Orlando, it's 65 degrees. The sun is shining bright despite the high clouds. High clouds like yesterday will be with us all day today, but it won't really have much of a slowing effect on the warming. It's going to get pretty hot today. We're going to go from 80 at noon and then skyrocket up to 90 by 5 o'clock. So it'll be a comfortable lunchtime, but an arguably kind of hot commute as you head home. At least the humidity will be low. So high clouds will continue streaming through the skies on the southwest flow aloft. Meanwhile, let's get up into North Georgia, northern Alabama, and then the Smoky Mountains. We got a lot of rain happening, showers and storms. Here's live view from Tennessee. This is from the Watauga Lake in Hampton, Tennessee, and the rain is falling, and all we can do is dream about what this may be like because we're sitting here in Central Florida, mired in moderate to severe drought. Rain like this would be great. But all we can do now is look at it and wonder how it must feel. Must be nice. All right, so all that said, we have some rain here coming our way, but we got to wait till May, so about 9 days from now. Daytona Beach, a live view, the sun shining bright. That's going to be good news for beach plans. 82 the high today, water temperature at 73, moderate risk for rip currents, waves about 1 to 3 feet. It's Jeep Week through Sunday at Daytona Beach, and it'll be grill to grill sunshine with 70 at 9, 78 degrees at noon, and 82 degrees at 4 o'clock. Did you know something like 25,000 Jeeps will be descending upon Daytona International Speedway? My question is, how many ducks will that be on the dashboard? So let's see, 25,000 Jeeps, 60 or 70 ducks per Jeep. That's a lot of duckies. All right, let's talk about the big picture. Upper level pattern. High pressure moves away. That is going to allow some systems to work in for the upper levels of the atmosphere as we head into early May. And that will result in the chance, at least, for some afternoon showers and storms finally starting to pop up thanks to daytime heating in a pattern that will resemble that of the rainy season. The heat and humidity finally by the first week of May resulting in a couple of downpours. Nothing like the organized weather system bringing rain to Tennessee and North Carolina this morning, but the prospect of some grass watering showers. At least 90 today. Today's Earth Day. 90 tomorrow, and in fact for the next 7 days we'll be within a degree or two of 90 every day. Well, it's time for the weather baby. That's right, 7:51 on this Tuesday, April 22nd, and meet Cameron Ernest. This photo courtesy of Ann Benway in Leesburg. Cam loves all foods, which is amazing, by the way. He's not picky in his eating. He loves his two brothers, and he also likes making messes and being outside. So he's a boy. He's a boy, that's for sure. I've got a boy who likes making messes too. Girls are a little daintier. I've got a couple girls too. So the full spectrum of children. We love weather babies. We'd love to share yours and all their character. Go to fox35orlando.com/weather-babies. Upload your pictures there. We'll share them here to the best of our ability. Good day, Orlando. All right, Jessica, how's it looking in the way of our travel this morning on the roads?
Well, hey, I'll tell you this much, Brooks. I used to make mud pies. I remember those days very well, making a mess mess and very deep holes in the ground too. But hey, let's talk traffic because we do have some slowdowns. This is going to be I-4, specifically as you're about to cross over the St. Johns River and the Lake Monroe area there. Very close to Deltona, also near the Enterprise and DeLand area. So that's going to be a spot where you want to be mindful of that we are experiencing and seeing some delays. We can see that there from our I-4 cameras, our FDOT cameras there just to the east and west of Dirksen Road. That's where we're seeing some of those delays. Also very close to the Bookertown area as well. Now we're in the red. If you're heading in from Champions Gate, I would give yourself at least 45 minutes, even though the drive time says about 37. We're really starting to see those delays stack up. About a 14-minute drive if you're heading on the 408, so the toll road from the 417 to downtown, and then an hour drive from Daytona to Orlando. So be sure to give yourself plenty of time to reach those destinations safely. 7:52. Stay with us. We have much more Good Day Orlando after this.
Well, there's much more to come in the 8 o'clock hour of Good Day Orlando. Here's a look at the stories we're working on. We start with Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie. Amanda?
Good morning. I'm live at the Osceola County Courthouse where suspected killer and child predator Stephen Stearns is asking the judge to delay his upcoming hearing. Coming up, I'll have more on why he wants evidence that he handed over to prosecutors to be thrown out.
Good morning. Well, it is dry out here. We have seen burn bans go into effect across several counties here in Central Florida. Coming up, we're going to tell you why one could be coming right here to Brevard County.
Yeah, and while we know the drought has been severe across areas, especially just north of Orlando, Brevard County is only abnormally dry, and in some parts there's not even drought being declared yet. However, it's been super dry. The brush fire danger is going up. We'll talk about when our next chance for rain is, when the drought may expand, and what may come during the month of May.